Class 1A through 6A State High School Football Championships. Our first matchup in Class 1A, Hardin Calhoun against Bloomington Central Catholic. Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Lederman, along with Jack McInerney here on Sports Vision as we begin a real marathon in terms of prep football, Jack. We've got 6 football games for you today and tomorrow, and we're going to start with the Class 1As, Hardin Calhoun against Bloomington Central Catholic. And Hardin Calhoun has come from, well, near the St. Louis area. Bloomington Central Catholic, they didn't have far to come. Their school is right down the street. Jack, when you look at these two schools, obviously top schools to get here, what's the first thing that strikes you about the matchup?
Well, the matchup, first of all, is basically a home game for Bloomington Catholic, and they've been used to this AstroTurf. Calhoun has not been. That could be a factor.
It is extremely wet out here. It is slick. They're worried about the footballs picking up a lot of moisture, which might work to Hardin Calhoun's advantage because they're a heavier team. They run a lot more than Bloomington Central does.
They have a big, strong running back in Josh White, and that could be the difference in this kind of a weather condition, just pounding at the smaller Bloomington team.
Jonah White has racked up something in the neighborhood of 1,900 yards, and let me tell you, you talk about a one-dimensional offense. Well, they've got it, but it certainly has been effective for Rick John's Hardin Calhoun Warriors.
It is a very unusual offense. They start out in a wing look, and they shift into a double slot look with Josh White being the only running back, and he carries the ball about 25 to 30 times a ball game, and he plays defense also.
Well, Bloomington Central has a little different situation, a more diversified attack, and it revolves around their quarterback, Brian Flynn.
Brian Flynn last year did not start. Norton did, who they switched to a receiver this year after the 5th ball game. Kind of an interesting concept. They have 2 excellent quarterbacks, with one of them now their leading pass receiver.
Right, so Brian Flynn runs the option a little bit better than Jim Horton. Horton's going to play some split end, and Flynn is going to be the quarterback. We'll see how well he runs that option today. All right, the teams are just about set. We'll be back with the introductions and the kickoff of the Class 1A IHSA State Championship right after this. I'll talk about a dreary day. We've got one. The lights are already on here at a little past 10 o'clock in the morning. The field is very, very wet, and both teams are getting ready because it's going to take a lot more than rain to mess up this parade, Jack.
Well, you know, the State High School Championships is such an exciting event in the state of Illinois, and weather might put a damper on it for the fans, but as far as the players are concerned, it's still a state championship game, and with those lights, they thought it was the sun.
Well, we have got 2 schools that have very small enrollments, but very, very exciting football programs. Hardin Calhoun has got about 230 students in there, presumably half of them are female, and they still field a roster somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 40 boys. And as far as Bloomington Central Catholic, well, they are probably as complex a 1A program as you will find. As a matter of fact, the coaches on both sides talk about Bloomington as being the most complex 1A program in the state. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our starting lineups. Here's our PA announcer over here at Hancock Stadium, Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the starting lineups for this Class 1A State Championship game featuring the Hardin Calhoun Warriors and the Bloomington Central Catholic Saints. First, introducing Central Catholic of Bloomington, the head coach, John McIntyre.
John McIntyre has 83 wins, only 43 losses in 12 years of Bloomington.
And now the starting defensive lineup for the Saints. At left end, 75, Rob Lippick. At left tackle, number 50, Randy Penn.
Randy Penn will play some nose guard, too, when they go into the 50 defense.
At right tackle, number 52, Greg Massey.
Greg Massey, only 5'9".
At right end, number 54, John Kansky. At linebacker, 31, Bill Adelman.
Bill Adelman, also their leading ball carrier.
At linebacker, 51, John Murphy.
John Murphy plays that middle.
At linebacker, number 33, Scott Connor.
Scott Connor, the leading tackler on the team.
At defensive back, number 8, Scott Volk. At defensive back, number 6, Mark Cimarasti.
Cimarasti, you'll see a lot of him on offense, too, at flanker.
At defensive back, number 22, Kurt Toma.
And if there's an MVP
And at
on this
safety,
team, Kurt Thoma is.
number 17, Jim Horton.
Jim Horton also plays split end on offense.
Those are the Saints of Bloomington Central Catholic High School.
Jack, they've got a home crowd here. This is their home turf.
They certainly do.
And now let's meet the starting offensive lineup for the Warriors of Hardin Calhoun High School.
And you can hear Hardin Calhoun's got a lot of supporters who drove a long way to get here.
First, the head coach, Rick Johns.
Rick Johns had him in the semifinals 2 years ago.
At left end, number 81, Jeff Ballman.
Jeff
At left
Ballman, a
tackle,
6'1" sophomore.
number 78, Jim Smith.
Jim Smith's a big kid, 245 pounds. Going to give
At left
Bloomington
guard,
some problems.
63, John Bick.
John Bick's about 100 pounds lighter.
At center, 55, P.J. Lorsbach.
Lorsbaugh, the center, he's a junior.
At right guard, number 61, Tim Winicky.
Co-captain Tim Winicky.
At right tackle, number 73, Todd Buchanan.
Buchanan at 6'1", 260.
At right end, number 12, Brad Long.
They play two tight ends. One is Brad Long,
At
senior.
quarterback, number 4, Charlie Booth.
You're going to enjoy watching Charlie Booth. Very deceptive quarterback.
At halfback, number 33, Derek Smith.
Derek Smith averages about 5 yards a carry.
At flankerback, number 32, Rodney Brangenberg.
Brangenberg, a senior, a little bit banged up from the semifinals, but he's starting today.
Number 48, Jonah White.
And there is Jonah White. He carries them, and we'll see how far. Jonah White, number 48, 5'8", 178, averages about 25 carries a game. My, 22 touchdowns for the year. Take a look at that weather situation. We've got the wind blowing right in our face. Temperature's 37 degrees. You can see the wind coming out of the northeast. It has shifted. It had been coming out of the southwest. We'll take a look at the officials. We'll set them for you. Mostly a Chicago contingent. We've got the referee, Sam Daniels, and Sam Daniels will be on a wireless microphone, so we'll be able to hear him. Warren Cooley, the umpire. James Fenton, line judge. Head linesman, L.T. Bonner. 4 officials for this championship game. There was talk of putting in a 5th. I think that may not be too far away.
Well, a lot of conferences use 5 officials because the passing game in high school football has gotten so sophisticated over the last 5 years that many conferences now use 5, but the state playoffs and the state championship games, they're still using 4.
Hardin Calhoun has won the toss, and the Warriors will take the goal to our right. Bloomington Central kicking off to our left. And for Bloomington Central, you'll watch number 8, Scott Volk, also plays defensive back. He'll do the kicking off for Bloomington Central. There he is.
Interesting for our fans as you look at the 1A classification, which is the smallest. We go 1 through 6. You'll find a lot of players going both ways. And in the case of Calhoun, there's the receivers now for the kickoff. In the case of Calhoun, offensively, the main man, as we mentioned before, is Jonah White, and if he goes down, they've got problems.
Number 33, Derek Smith. 32, Brangenberg is usually there, but because he's injured, Charlie Booth, the quarterback, is running back kickoffs, which gives you a good idea of what they think of him as a runner as well as a ball handler. Well, just about set to get underway. 37 degrees, the lights are on, the rain is coming down, and talking to both coaches before the game, both seem to feel that Calhoun, with its bigger bodies, will benefit from a situation like this.
When we were on the field before, both coaches told us that the advantage based on size would be to Calhoun with these particular weather situations. But it's the state championship game, and right now it's 0-0, and both teams thinking that they're going to be the state champion.
And the ball's in the air. It'll go to Booth. And Booth takes it as his own 12. And brings it across the 30-yard line. Knocked down by Mark Cimarosti, number 6, first man in there on the play. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line of Hardin Calhoun, and we'll see the Warriors go on offense. And they have A double wing setup that certainly looks a little bit strange to those of us who are used to watching college and pro, but it certainly is effective for them. There are the backs. Charlie Booth, the quarterback. Jonah White, the big fullback. Smith, Brandenburg, and they will finish off there. Hello, says Bloomington, as Jonah White gets thrown for a 3-yard loss.
And that's a common play right off the bat with most high schools. It's let's take a look here at the big fullback right now. Let's get all the butterflies out on the first ball play of the game. Let's give it to our best player, make sure there's no fumble, and everybody get the first hit in, and we go from there.
Greg Massey, big defensive tackle. Well, not big. We told you he's only 165. Was in to make the stop. Call it 2nd down and 13. And again, Bloomington is in the Hardin backfield. That time, number 51, John Murphy, the linebacker, came in. As we take a look at the offensive line, tackle the tight end, Smith, Bick, Lorsbaugh, the center, Winnicky, Buchanan, and Brad Long, the tight end. The other tight end is number 88.
Quick kick
on 3rd down. As White gets it away and doesn't get much of it. He's usually their punter. It goes out of bounds. Just over Bloomington territory to their 46. Well, what do you think of that strategy?
Interesting call early. They looked like they wanted to tone down Bloomington because Bloomington was really coming hard. And again, we mentioned in our pregame the shift of Calhoun, but they are somewhat one-dimensional with White at fullback. And that last play, they tried to run a trap and got stuffed. I thought it was a good idea had it got a better punt off, put Bloomington in the hole, but consequently, they've got excellent field position.
All right, they're lined up in the I. The tailback, the fullback is Kurt Toma. And they give it to Bill Adelman, the tailback. Adelman gets a couple across the 45.
Let's take a look at it from the end zone. A good shot here to the tailback. Good blocking and good hard running by Adelman, who had 682 yards in a regular season. He was their leading rusher attempt-wise with 159 carries. So they're going right at Hardin Calhoun right off the bat.
I call it a gain of 7. Call it 2nd down and about 3 from the 47 of Hardin Calhoun. Cimarosti goes in motion to the right. Once again, it's Adelman trying to sweep around the left side, and Hardin Calhoun is not fooled. Jonah White coming up to make the stop, along with Dan Stein. The backfield, you can see Brian Flynn, the junior quarterback. Toma, very versatile player. He'll line up as the upback, the fullback. Adelman, he will alternate at tailback with Josh Davis. Scott Connor out there on the flank. The split end is number 88, Rich Haggerty. Big down, 3rd and 2 from the 46-yard line. Again, Cimarosti, a motion to the left. The give is to the upback. And Toma gets the first down and more, down to the 35 to make it the 34-yard line. Before he's brought down by number 73, Todd Buchanan, and again,
let's take a look at it here. They show motion. They give the fullback nice big hole. Now remember, that was 3rd and 1, and it was a nice cutback there by Calhoun. They showed strength to one side and came back to the weak side. It was a nice call and picked up a first down.
Well, Bloomington on a march here. They're on the 34-yard line of Hardin Calhoun with a 1st and 10. Still no score, just the start of things. About 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're in Normal, Illinois at Hancock Stadium. Adelman, he's been in there, and he gets about 6. Bring it down to 7, inside the 30-yard line, down to about the 28.
They're running right at Calhoun.
We look at the offensive line for Central Catholic. Kraft, Murphy, Penn, Kansky, and Lippick. It's a light defensive line. They only average about 70 pounds a man on the offensive line. That's about 20 pounds per man less than their opposition. 2nd down, 4 yards to go now. Quarterback is Flynn. And the give again is to Adelman, and Adelman continues to find running room inside the tackles. Down to the 21-yard line, and that's good for a first. Brought down by John Bick, linebacker number 63.
That was a power play. They brought the man in motion, and they brought him right to the point of attack, and he led up into the hole. And, of course, their rushing game, they've gained 2,100 yards over the season, and they've passed for 1,000. So you can see the concept that they have between run and pass.
Bloomington, a very good first march. Find themselves now on the 21, make a 22-yard line with a 1st and 10. Toma, the fullback, and he gets knocked forward inside the 20 till about the, we'll call it the 17. Matt Capps makes the tackle, number 77. Evelyn Holder Buchanan, actually Capps is in there for Holder now. He's a 280-pounder. Buchanan and Bowman, Paul Bowman at the defensive end position. They go with 4 down linemen most of the time over at Hardin. Called a gain of 5, 2nd and 5 from the 17. Bobbling the snap is Flynn, but he's going to make some hay out of this one. One man to beat. Boop rides him out of bounds inside the 10-yard line at about the 6. Busted play worked well for
That's
Brian
the athletic ability that we talked about before, Mike. With Flynn, bad snap, he picks it up and makes a great play out of it, and ends up going down about the 6-yard line where they have 1st and goal. But that's why they switched him and made a decision to go with him at quarterback rather than Horton, because he has a little more athletic ability.
And you saw it right there. Brian Flynn taking a broken play, picking up the 1st down. 1st and goal now from the 6-yard line of Bloomington Catholic. Motion to Cimarosti. Pitches to Adelman. Adelman inside the 5, down to the 1-yard line, fighting his way through, and he is stopped about the 1.5.
Great effort there. Very hard running. Again, this is a play that they have shown through the latter part of the season where they put the slot back in motion, and then they bring him to the point of attack, so they're doubling up. They're doubling down on the down tackle, and then the fullback and the motion man lead up.
Jonah White, number 48, making the stop. 2nd down and goal from the 1. Now they bring in, they've got 3 backs, a power eye situation. Looks like it's going to be a straight ahead. Adelman again, and he finishes off the drive with the first touchdown, the IHSA playoffs.
Well, I'm sure that quick kick will now be second-guessed because of the field position that it gave to Bloomington. AstroTurf, you're looking for that big bounce. They didn't get it, and Bloomington got good field position on about the 45 on that first drive, and they went right down the field.
Well, about a 55-yard march down the field, all of it on the ground, and Bill Adelman did most of the work. And Adelman is in there. He wasn't even supposed to start today. They would usually start a smaller back, but Coach John McIntyre said that since the footing might be a little slick, they'll go with the bigger back. Here's the extra point. And the kick is shanked off to the left.
There seemed to be some debate down there by Flynn as to whether it was good or not.
Kevin Arnold kicked it off to the left.
Let's take a look here at the touchdowns. The power eye right. Notice it's a blast, which is the 2 up backs are just blasting on the down lineman, and he just powers his way into the end zone for that first touchdown. Nothing fancy, just power football.
6:33 to go. We'll take a look at it from another angle. There you see, boy, they really gang up on it.
They're really attacking. Right at the point of attack, they have 3 people. And when you have a yard to go in high school football, it's pretty tough to stop that.
54-yard drive, 9 plays, took 3 minutes and 54 seconds, all of it on the ground. And Bill Adelman, the 1-yard run, and Kevin Arnold's kick, no good. So it's 6-0 Bloomington Central Catholic. And Scott Volk's going to kick off again. And the 2 deep men closest to you was Derek Smith, number 33. Lower portion of your screen, Charlie Booth on the upper portion, and this time it'll be Smith. Smith on his own 18. Derek Smith covered a lot of ground to the side and not much up there. They'll start on the 20-yard line, will the Warriors of Hardin Calhoun, when we come back. 6-0 Bloomington Central Catholic, first quarter. Picking it up now, 2nd and 8. With Jonah White getting the first 2 yards. And Brangenberg, number 32, takes it up for about another yard, so we'll make it 3rd and 7, brought down by linebacker Scott Connor. Brangenberg calling the right halfback in the double wing set. 3rd down, call it 7 yards to go. In motion is Smith. They give it to White. White barreling his way out close to the first down. It looks like he's about half a yard short. Rob Lippick saved the first down right there. Yeah, if It's close to a yard short.
You know, Mike, as we look at this, with Bloomington scoring so early, there's
Rick Johns over there.
Rick Johns there. They do not throw the ball very much, and if Bloomington jumps on them early, they could have problems.
Jonah White gets the punt away again. He doesn't get much of a kick going, but he gets a good roll, takes it down to about the 41-yard line of Bloomington Catholic, and again, the Saints are going to have good field position.
Just about where they started off on that first drive. Without being too critical of Hardin Calhoun, they are very one-dimensional. They did not throw the ball very much. They only attempted 60 passes during the year. So we're looking at a situation where if they get down early, their offense is not the type that can't come back. But we are still early, and
6-0 Bloomington Central. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. 12-minute quarters, remember. Bloomington Central from their own 42. And to give once again, Adelman. If it isn't work, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Adelman gets up around the 45 before he's knocked back, but it's a gain of about 4. Brought down by Todd Buchanan, number 73. Boy, Adelman has really done a lot of work today, and it's interesting because he hadn't been starting the last couple of games.
Well, the teams that they had been playing, it was more of a situation where Josh Davis, who was a little smaller back and a little quicker, fit into the personnel against who they were playing. But now in a ball game like this, Adelman is a little more aggressive. From the 45-yard line, call it 2nd and 6. In the deuce backfield now, the give is to Toma. Good run by Toma. Gets deep into the secondary, into Hardin Calhoun territory, across the 45, down to the 44. First down. That was a trap. Let's take a look at it here. Watch the guard pulling right here. Chris blocking and a trap block there. Toma on the cutback does a nice job of keeping his feet and lowering his shoulders for the first down. I like Toma's footwork on that. Notice 54 trapping right here. Real nice job for high school football. Good techniques. And Toma moving upfield, pick up that first down. 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line of Hardin Calhoun, Bloomington Central. First pass of the game intended for Horton. And Horton had both men beat in the secondary. He had number 33 Derek Smith beat, as well as Jeff Squire, the cornerbacks, and good call. Let's take a look at it again. The counter trap fake here, and he's just throwing a go route to the split end, and as you can see, he's wide open. Now, that pass was almost as effective being incomplete as it would have been caught, because right now those Calhoun defenders are going to have to play off because they know they're capable of throwing the bomb. And Bloomington Central has already established the run, so they're really sitting in the driver's seat. Samorasti again in motion, in the eye. The give now is to number 23, Josh Davis, the second tailback, and Davis gets close to a first down inside the 35. Dan Stein, the tackle for Hardin Calhoun, along with Charlie Booth coming up from his defensive back position. Here's the stats that we talked about before. You can see the difference in their rushing and their passing game. And then again, what the opponents do from the standpoint is that 202 is a big factor right there, passing yardage. Yeah, they don't allow much over through the air at Central Catholic. The luxury they have is the two running backs between Davis and Adelman. Davis has 633 yards and Adelman has 682. It's nice to have that kind of a tandem and be able to use them in certain situations. Going to get a measurement here on the first down yardage. 2:38 to go, first quarter, and things have worked well here for Bloomington Central on their home field. Although, you know, don't look at Hardin Calhoun and say, well, they look pretty helpless out there. They're not. They've got a bunch of guys who have had some pretty tough competition, and they come in here on the other guy's home field. They need a little time to get adjusted, and once Jonah White gets untracked, could be a different ball game. Well, field position up to this point has been the big factor. Here's a 3rd and less than a yard. So they'll use the power formation right here. Power eye right. This is Toma. Well, Toma just keeps ripping holes through that hard line down to about the 23. Jonah White, John Bick in there to stop him, but not before he gains another dozen yards. Let's take a look at it. It's the fullback right behind the lead block right there. And Toma, as you can see, is a real hard runner. He's only 160 pounds, but he has good leg drive and that forward lean, which you look for in all running backs. Averages about 6 yards a rush. Did a little better on that one. First down, 10 yards to go on the 24-yard line
of Hardin Calhoun. Again, the power formation. This is Adelman back in the game. He gets down to the 20. Bill Adelman again back in the game, and he is finding the inside route. Very attractive one for him. Tim Winicky, the co-captain, making the stop for Hardin Calhoun.
Calhoun needs to come up with a stopper here, because if Bloomington can score, then the second possession like this, it's going to be tough to stop them on their home field here.
They're going right at the defensive big guy, 77 Caps, who's in there to make the stop.
Let's take a look at what they're doing up front here. As you can see right there, there's a trap, number 54, right there kicking out. Nice job. Doesn't get all of them, but enough for him to pick up about 3 or 4 yards. Now we're looking at about a 3rd and 2 for Bloomington Catholic.
Jay Schweitzer, number 14, the ball carrier on that one. 3rd down from the eye, 1 yard to go. They're on the 15.
Here's the option.
Good play by Hardin Calhoun. Derek Smith again coming up from the defensive left corner spot.
That was a nice play by Calhoun. That's the first time that Bloomington has showed us the option. Watch the fake to the fullback right here. Now he's coming down attacking at outside linebacker, and he goes to turn it upfield. In the option, all those defensive players are assigned a phase of it. Somebody has the pitch man, somebody has the quarterback, somebody else has the fullback. And on that particular play, they all had their people. Good job by Calhoun.
Loss of a little bit under a yard, so it'll be 4th and 1 right here. Power formation with Adelman, the tailback. Simorosty, the power back, and Toma. This is Adelman, and Adelman gets it down close to the 10 to about the 12. Plenty for a first down. They keep the balls coming in and from the sideline. And
let's take a look at the reverse pivot here, right here, going to the tailback. He actually runs outside the blocking scheme, and he was fortunate enough to pick up that first down. Had he been able to follow his blockers inside where the play was set up, he probably would have gained about another 5 or 6 yards. So we're looking at a quarter change here.
Well, that's the end of the first period with the score. Bloomington Central 6 and driving. Hardin Calhoun nothing. First and 10 for Bloomington Central from the 12. This is Toma breaking clear. He's in. Touchdown, Bloomington.
That was that trap that we had seen earlier that worked so well. Just an inside counter trap off the option fake from the split backs.
Kurt Toma doing a good job getting excellent blocking at the line and then doing the rest himself.
Let's take a look at it right here. You see the trap with the guard right there. And that's John Caskey, 6 foot, 160-pound junior, is also an outstanding defensive player. Right here you see him cutting back, doing a nice job of keeping those shoulders upfield. Good leg drive, punches it in.
Kevin Arnold now on to try the extra point. Missed the first one. And this one gets blocked. So they'll come back up the field with the score: Bloomington Central 12, Hardin Calhoun nothing. Just the start of things. 11:55 to go in the second quarter.
Well, we'll see now if Bloomington were to score again. We'll see him go for 2 on the conversion for their next score possibly. Calhoun really needs to get to work here, because this is early. Their offense cannot support big deficits. In other words, they're not really a come-from-behind type of offense, so there could be a difficulty here for their offense to get back in this ballgame.
Yeah, also, Bloomington Central does not give up a lot of points, period. I think they gave up a total of 6 points all season in the first quarter, so they brought that average even down a little bit. Second quarter, they've only given up 1 touchdown. And by the third and fourth quarters, they're ready to have the subs in there. There's Charlie Booth to the near side. Derek Smith up on the right of your picture. Once again, Scott Volk will kick off after that 10-play, 58-yard drive that ended with Kurt Thomas' 12-yard run. 12-0, Bloomington Central. Short kick this time, taken by the up man for Bloomington Central. Looked like Jonah White. And White's getting good field position for Bloomington Central for the first time up across the 35-yard line.
By comparison, when we talked about that Bloomington has only allowed 7 points in the second quarter in all their ball games, the highest scoring quarter for Calhoun is the second quarter. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if Calhoun stays with the stats that they've had all year, and the same with Bloomington.
The offensive line outweighs the Bloomington defense by close to 30 pounds a man. Again, the double wing. That's Brandenburg in motion. Now he sets up as an I-back. Give us to the short back. And Jonah White again has company in the backfield to the tune of number 51, John Murphy.
Putting a lot of pressure on him. Let's take a look at it here. You can see that they're in a 52 look, and that right tackle just slanted down right in that gap and beat the tackle and made the play on White. So far, Bloomington has been very aggressive on defense, showing a multitude of offenses from a 4 look to a 5-2. And right now we're looking at the same thing, a 50 with a nose hand slant.
Scott Connor on that tackle. Let's give credit where credit is due. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. This is the pitch to Brandenburg, starting to circle the left. And he gets the same reception, met by a whole raft of blue shirts. Led by Rob Lippick, the defensive end.
Interesting for Bloomington, their entire front 4 defensively is all juniors. So that kind of gives an indication of things to come for next year.
Third down now, still 11 to go from the 36-yard line.
Notice the shift again from a slot to a wing.
This time to give to Brandenburg, trying to circle left again. This time he makes it, and Brandenburg can go.
They're going to mark him out of bounds here, I believe.
Gets down inside the 20, but looks like he stepped out of bounds upfield short of the first down. Brought down or knocked out of bounds by Toman Horton, but the officials are going to say that he's out of bounds.
Big break for Bloomington.
Oh, about 30 yards below that. Tough break.
But again, that's similar to the incomplete pass for Bloomington. They throw the bomb. Now Bloomington is back to reality. They realize that they can do this. Let's watch. It's a counter trap here. They fake to the fullback, and they've got the wing back and the tackle. And you can see right there where he stepped out of bounds, or he's down the sideline for 6. And they're going to have to punt.
The left side of the line, Vick and Smith. Good blocking on that. Punt by Jonah White goes inside the 20.
Oh,
ball's loose. And covered by Bloomington Central. And it'll be Bloomington Central Catholic ball. Randy Penn coming up with the loose football. Broadcast rights to today's Class 1A State Football Championship have been granted to Sports Vision by the Illinois High School Association, and reproduction or rebroadcast of this event without the written consent of Sports Vision and the IHSA is prohibited. Just in case you wanted to know. Right, Jack?
That's right.
All right. Just don't say right cup. Here we First and 10 for Bloomington Central from their own 26. This is Josh Davis. Loss of 1. Tim Winnicky meeting him before he crossed the line of scrimmage.
Now that again was a trap play similar to the one that they had scored the touchdown on, but when it's run out of the I formation, it's a little slower in developing, and consequently Calhoun was able to use good pursuit, the defensive line, to make that play.
9.5 minutes to go, second quarter. Bloomington Central with the ball and a 12-0 lead. Stack up with a 2nd and 11. Out to the right is Cimarosti. To the near side here is Horton. And once again, this is Josh Davis, and Davis gets about 4 this time, up to about the 29. Matt Capps in there, the big defensive tackle, in on the hit. There's Josh Davis, number 23. Just a sophomore, only 130 pounds.
They seem to go to the I formation when he's in there, but one thing to keep in mind, the I is a little slower in developing. They're a little more effective when in the split backs as they are right now.
Well, they use Adelman more because he is the heavier back, the more powerful back, but now they're going to Davis and they send him in motion.
Passing formation.
Flynn, he's got his receiver, Cimarosti. And Mark Cimarosti gets close to first down yardage across the 35.
Let's take a look at it here. They set the back in motion, which turned it into a trip set to the top of your screen, and he goes to the short man running a flat route, and he actually had 6 points up the sideline, and if he had gone to the motion man. So we're looking at a first down here now.
Jeff Squire making the tackle. 1st and 10. just this side of the 37 for Bloomington Central. And Cimarosti is the motion back. And once again, this is Josh Davis. And Davis, they say he was down. And John McIntyre over there threw his hands up. He said, oh, his knee didn't touch, but the whistle blew. We'll check it out. Otherwise, he was gone.
I never saw him go down to the knee. I really thought it was an inadvertent whistle. Let's take a look at it here. He's led up to the point of attack by the flanker, and let's see if his knee does touch. Yes, it does. Great call. Great call by the officials.
Yeah, and there he gets up. He knows how to disguise it well. Give him a gain of 3, so it's the 2nd and 7 from the 39. Pitch again. Davis doing all the work on this drive that Adelman did on the other one, but no results here for Bloomington Central.
That was a great job by the outside linebacker, number 64, Chris Eberlin. Let's take a look at it. It's a power sweep to the top of your screen. Notice the penetration right there. Fights off the blocker. Chris Eberlin, number 64, 5'9", 161-pound junior, made a great defensive play.
Well, he's the fastest lineman on the squad. He showed it right there. 7 minutes to go. 12-0. 3rd and 8. For Bloomington Central. They lead 12-0.
Screen.
Little screen dump off to Toma, and Toma knocked down by number 52.
Let's take a look at the screen here. It was not set up the way they wanted to. He's going to drop back, but he got more pressure than he initially wanted to receive. They tried to drop the ball off here, and you can see a great effort here by number 33 coming up to make the play, Derek Smith.
Check it, Derek Smith, number 33, and this will be the first punting situation for Bloomington Central. And Rich Haggerty, number 88, to punt over to the quarterback.
Charlie Booth, number 4.
Calhoun, Charlie Booth. Booth is going to, thought he's going to let it go. Picks it up, and he is smothered just across his 20. Well, Charlie Booth looked like he was going to make the right play the first time, but then he decided, well, let's try it.
Let's take a look at it here. When the ball hits the AstroTurf, it can take some crazy bounces. It's like a knuckleball. You can see here he picks it up and drops it again, and great coverage by Bloomington. Most cases, you want the short men to try and handle that ball. You don't want the ball to hit the turf because it could go 25 more yards on that AstroTurf.
Haggerty, the punter, doing a good job getting the ball inside the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10, call it the 24. And Jonah White this time breaks through, and Jonah White is on his way.
And he's got speed.
Saving tackle by Cimarosti. What a run by Jonah White.
I don't know that he's hurt as much as he's tired because he does play both ways, but that was a great effort on his part with some crisp offensive line blocking.
That's what the Hardin fans were waiting for.
Let's take a look at it. See the trap block right here by that guard. Great effort. Hits, rolls, keeps his legs going, heading upfield. Nice effort by Jonah White, 5'7", 170-pound junior with great stats. 1,900 yards rushing this year.
It's about a 50-yard run by Jonah White. 5.5 minutes to go, 2nd quarter. 1st and 10. Hardin Calhoun with its first offensive threat on the Bloomington 26-yard line. Booth. His arm was hit just as he started to throw, and one of the defensive linemen was a little bit surprised. Otherwise, they would have gone the other way.
That was going to be a dump pass with the quick fake to Jonah White up the middle, and they were going to dump it to the tight end. Basically what happened is that the assistant coaches up here in the booth are making that call. They're saying that safety is starting to squeeze down, and so they're going with the fake and looking for that pop pass, but he got his elbow hit.
A 51-yard run by Jonah White, and that was the first down of the game for Hardin Calhoun. Now 2nd and 10.
Bloomington shifting their defense all over, trying to
go unbalanced right here. Jonah White again, and he fumbles. And Bloomington Central has it. Bloomington Central recovers on their own 23-yard line. It looked like Josh Davis. Check it, it was Bill Adelman who made the recovery.
Right here is the workhorse White, and he just gets a solid hit with the helmet on the shoulder right on the ball and coughs it up.
I'll give it to Cimarosti. It looks like number 6, Scott Connor, made the hit on him. Knocked it loose. And Bloomington Central goes right back on the offense. Under 5 minutes to go now. Until halftime, it is still 12-0 Bloomington Central. This is Toma. And Toma breaks free. Kurt Toma, one man to beat. And Derek Smith gets him, but not before he goes inside the Hardin Calhoun 30-yard line.
We've seen some wide open football in these last few plays here. Big run by White, and let's take a look at it right here. It's just a down-the-line option dive play to Toma, and he cuts back across the grain, and he's trying to outrun the defenders here. Derek Smith takes the angle on him and makes a great play coming across the field. Great hustle by Derek Smith.
Also better than a 50-yard run, and Derek Smith saved the touchdown. First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 27 of Hardin Calhoun. Bloomington Central with the ball. Running the option, and the pitch back goes to Josh Davis. And Davis met by Jeff Squire.
Good defensive effort there by Hardin Calhoun, taking their responsibilities, and somebody had the dive back, somebody had the quarterback, and of course, right in the face of that pitch man when the quarterback dumped it off.
With that 50-yard run by Toma, he's over 100 yards for the day, 101 so far. We're not even at halftime. 4 minutes to go, 4:10 to go in the second quarter. 12-0 Bloomington Central over Hardin Calhoun. Mike Liederman along with Jack McInerney. Class 1A IHSA State Championship football. Second and 14 now. And Josh Davis again. Davis picking up about 5.
For fans at home, you probably noticed.
Second, it's Adelman. I'm sorry, Jack. Bill Adelman there gets about 6.
Let's look at the short motion here. He just leads right up. Number 33 is leading up on the linebacker there, and I'm sure Calhoun will make an adjustment at halftime, because every time they've run that short motion, they have gone to the point of attack, and I'm sure that Bloomington has a pass off of that where they fake that particular play and go to the tight end.
Split to the left is Horton on a 3rd and 8. And pass. Once again, the pass, and it is overthrown to Cimarosti, incomplete. And Brian Flynn is a little upset with himself with that one, because he had Mark Cimarosti over there on the sideline just waiting for that one.
It's pretty tough in these type of weather conditions for a high school quarterback. Their hands are a little smaller, and the ability to throw the ball becomes a little more difficult.
Here's Kurt Toma. We showed you. He went over 100 yards with that 50-yard run.
And you named it early in the ballgame. You said that he's the man. He's the do all-everything, all-purpose. He's certainly done it in the first half so far.
Well, they're going to go for the first down yardage, 4th and 8 on the 25. Once again, it's Flynn. Over the middle to Cimarosti, and there's plenty of coverage there. While the players collided, no flags. There were 3 defenders.
He really forced that ball up. He had one of the backs out in the flat as a safety valve, and that probably would have been a better choice. But of course, we're up in the press box second guessing. And it's a little more difficult when you're the quarterback down there in the state championship game. You go to that receiver looking for 6.
Well, also, he's only 5'8", 140 pounds. Maybe a little bit tough to see over some of the Hardin defensive linemen coming charging at you. All right, Hardin Calhoun now looking to get to the scoring column. They had a good drive last trip that was stopped by a fumble. And they give us to the left linebacker, to the left halfback, Derek Smith. Whistle blows before the ball comes free.
That was a counter trap coming off of the movement to White going in another direction here. They were looking for a reverse, but Bloomington stayed home. The backside linebacker stayed home and run it all the way.
There's Mr. Toma. This time he's on the defensive end of things. Under 3 minutes now to go in the half. 12-0 Bloomington Central. Hardin Calhoun looking to get something going here. Again, they shift into the double wing. Smith in motion.
Got a man open.
Booth letting it go. Intended for Brandenburg. Beautiful catch over the shoulder by Brandenburg. In between 2 defenders, Volk and Horton. Beautiful play into central territory at the 40-yard line. Excellent play.
Let's take a look at the fake. Everything revolves around White. The fake there, and he's sprinting out. And you can see him right here in the seam. Nice throw and a nice catch. Calhoun needs to do more of this to get back in the ballgame and to keep that aggressive Bloomington defense off their back. You can see right here, he puts the ball right on the money. Nice route, splitting the receivers right here. Good job.
Charlie Booth showing some arm right there.
On the run, difficult pass.
From the 42-yard line of Bloomington Central, This is Hardin Calhoun with Jonah White, and White breaks the 40 and gets down to about 37. Call it gain of 5. Coming up to the 2-minute mark here, and I think Calhoun, realizing it's got to get something on the board, it would be nice to get something on the board going into the locker room. And they may have to do some throwing. 33-yard pass play, the last one. Gain of 5, so call it 2nd and 5 from the 38. Well, short 6 anyway. Branchburg in motion to the left. The give again to Jonah White. Check it. Booth keeps it. And Booth gets inside the 35 down to the 34.
That was a keep all the way after the fake to Jonah White. He did have a back in motion, but he had never any intention of passing. Take a look right here. The fake. Notice how he puts the ball away right away. And he's got 2 lead blockers out there, so that was a quarterback keep all the way. And notice how everything revolves around Jonah White. That first fake, freezing up those linebackers inside.
Under a minute and a half to go now. 3rd down 3 from the 35.
There it is.
To Brad Long, the tight end, inside the 25 down to the 22. Again, a little look-in pass right there, Jack. Very effective play. Brought down by Scott Conner.
Let's take a look at it again. The quick fake right here, and linebackers freeze up, and they get the quick pop pass to the tight end. He was not hit on the play, and in most cases, the coaches want you hitting those tight ends so they don't have that quick release. And, of course, that fake to the fullback froze those inside linebackers, gave them the passing lane.
Rick Johns is taking a timeout with 1:10 to go. And while we do that, we'll take a break. We'll come back. 1:10 to go here at Illinois State. At normal, Hardin Calhoun trails by 12. 10 for Hardin Calhoun. 1:10 to go. Charlie Booth again taking it himself. Down inside the 15-yard line. Down to about the 13. Booth seems to be gaining a lot more confidence as the play goes on. You know, he knows he's up against some pretty tough opposition. But you can watch Charlie Booth, and he seems to be growing as the time goes by.
You notice how he tucks away here. He's got excellent speed. And he's smart enough to get as much as he can and get out of bounds, stopping the clock with 1 minute and 4 seconds left.
Horton and Allen knocking him out of bounds for Central Catholic. Gain of 8, 2nd and 2 from the 14-yard line. Branchburg, the right wing. Smith, the left wing back in motion. Straight up the middle, Jonah White gets a couple.
It's real important right here that Calhoun scores, that they go into halftime on a good, positive note.
This is a very good drive for them. They threw the ball. They got some good running, good blocking, and they got, I think, a quarterback who's got a lot more confidence in what he's doing right now.
You know, we had mentioned earlier that this is their big quarter as far as scoring. They've scored 112 points in the second quarter to their opponent's 32. But on the other hand, as you mentioned, Bloomington's only given up 7 points in the second quarter. So we're looking at 2 teams that are knocking themselves off here.
Well, tonight at 8:30, the Chicago Blackhawks take on Wayne Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers. Live from the Northlands Coliseum, Pat Foley and Dale Talon have all the exciting action. Sports Vision, your home for Chicago Blackhawk hockey. Well, let's hope the Hawks can win one on the road. Wouldn't it be nice to get one at Edmonton?
Ooh, certainly would.
Ooh, boy.
Sure, Mr. Gretzky will have something to say about that.
Yeah. Well, right now, let's see if Hardin Calhoun's got something to say to Central Catholic. 3rd down 1.
Unbalanced line again.
From the 13. Booth over center. Unbalanced to the right this time. And Jonah White gets stuffed. Excellent play by 52, Greg Massey.
They got to move right up on the ball here, pick up this 1st down.
4th down, they got to go. They're going on 4th down right now as we take a look.
There it is, right there. They stuffed him, came right at him. There's the pop
pass to Brad Long again, and Long gets the 1st down. Boy, that play has worked beautifully twice, down to the 2-yard line.
The key to that play is the fullback fake.
Yeah, it freezes everybody.
Let's take a look at it right here. Notice the linebacker's coming right up, and that creates that seam right there for him to get right in there for that pop pass. Another timeout here.
And Horton saved the touchdown right there. Yeah, you can't emphasize enough what kind of a situation Rick Johns has got himself in here with Hardin Calhoun. They weren't able to move the first quarter. They felt that, you know, they had not played as tough a schedule as Central Catholic. Well, a few 1A teams do play a schedule as tough as Central Catholic. We'll talk about that later. But there's Rick Johns. He's really been able to mix it up nicely.
Well, right now, the key to this, of course, they're down right where they can use Jonah White, a hard running back. But Bloomington's been very aggressive. The play that has worked well is the fake to White and the quarterback getting outside. Now, this is something we might see down here, but with 34 seconds left, and I believe he has one timeout after this. This is crucial for them to punch one in here, and the time factor is very important.
Here we go, first and goal, but that's not the issue. 34 seconds till halftime. Booth straight ahead. What do they call Hardin Calhoun?
They're
got
not
their
giving
hands
it to
up, but no, they're saying he's not in. He's not in. Clock still ticks. Now there's an official time, and the ball is maybe 3 inches from that goal line. Take a look.
Let's take a look at it. It's just a quarterback sneak right here, and he's almost in. Good call by the officials because he did not break the plane.
No, the helmet did, but not the ball. 15 seconds to go. Clock is running. Jonah White. Jonah White is in for the score.
You can see the bottom of your screen there. 10 seconds left. That's a big touchdown right there for Hardin Calhoun. They really needed to go in on a positive note after Bloomington had driven down the field on 2 big drives.
And there are the Hardin fans. The Hardin fans.
The tackle's blocking down. They're all wedge blocking the point of attack right there. And, of course, his big strength and leg drive punches it in. It was close.
Hardin Calhoun came through. Jim Smith, the left tackle, was paving the way. Extra point was no good.
No good. He kicked it right waist high, right into the lineman.
Freshman Rulon has been having trouble kicking points, but they've got a freshman doing it, and still Hardin Calhoun is on the board. So with 10 seconds left to go in the first half, Bloomington Central now has its lead cut in half to 12-6.
This is what we mentioned earlier, that I felt that Calhoun would have to loosen things up by throwing the ball, and that would make White more effective. The situation that they've had so far is they were really stuffing White early, but they started loosening up the perimeter by having Booth fake to White and then get outside and put some pressure on the outside linebackers.
Yeah.
This will be something they'll do in the second half.
Well, they only threw about 57 times all year, so that's what, about 4 a game.
That's what we talked about earlier, that they were somewhat one-dimensional with White and one-dimensional from the standpoint of what they did offensively.
Well, this is Rulon, the freshman, to kick off. And he just puts it on the ground. Cimarosti takes it on the 20
out here.
And see if he can go anywhere with it. And as the clock runs down, Cimarosti gets out beyond the 30, but with 2 seconds to go, still have time for one more play. 11-play drive, 75 yards, took 3 minutes, with Jonah White capping it with a 1-yard run, his 23rd touchdown of the year. And Rulon's kick was blocked, so...
And a big play there was that pop pass to the tight end.
Boy, that worked twice. To Brad Long. And there's the whistle, the buzzer, the gun, call it what you will. That's the end of the first half of play with the score. Central Catholic 12, Hardin Calhoun 6. Coming out of the east right at us.
Well, you know, it's really interesting that Calhoun got back in the ball game, and that was very important that they went in at halftime on a positive note after Bloomington had scored on their first 2 drives. So I think we're going to have a great ball game in the second half.
Yeah, up until 10 seconds to go, it was one ball game. Now it's a totally different ball game. Hardin Calhoun has got a lot of confidence now. It knows its running game will work, and more important, I think it knows its passing game will work.
That was a key, because when they're keen on White, it's very important, as we noticed in the first half with those play-action fakes, that frees the inside linebackers, and they have those pop passes at tight end. I think we're going to see more of that in the second half.
Well, you know, Bloomington Central talks about how complex its defenses are. They run maybe 8 or 9 different defenses, which is an awful lot at any level of high school play. And at the same time, Hardin Calhoun has got a lot more basic 4-3 alignment, but that heft of Hardin Calhoun, I think, is going to start to tell on the lighter guys from Bloomington Central, especially in these conditions as the game wears on.
Well, they both have a lot of players going both ways, and of course in high school football, the more defensive change-up you have up front, the more confusing it is for the offensive line blocking. So we're looking at both teams that play an even front, and they're doing a lot of change-up. So again, there's a lot of blackboard movement going on right now at halftime for both coaches.
There's another situation to consider, and that is the ball. They've only got 4 game balls, you know, and the field is soaking soaking wet, and after about the first 3 or 4 plays, try to throw that thing, it's like a rock, and it's going to get worse as the second half progresses.
Well, the point, too, is that high school players have smaller hands, and there is a difficulty in this kind of weather with the wind. Your hands are cold, and the ball is wet. It feels like it weighs about 5 pounds. That's a big factor.
Okay, we'll be back with a special guest interview in just a minute. Right now, stay with us here on Sports Vision.
How it's progressed over these years.
Well, we're very pleased with it so far, Jack. We had 305,000 people watch the playoffs on all 5 dates last year, and with the weather that we had in the first round and second round and preliminaries this year, we fully expect that we'll be above that this year. And with the expansion of the playoffs 3 years ago, and you know, people catching on and getting involved in the excitement, and new and different schools every year, it's beginning to spread throughout the state, and we're very excited about it. We really are.
Well, as far as the Illinois high school football coaches are, we're very excited about the concept of television taking over here and being able to televise the state championship games. We're also got a question about, for years we had, well, for 4 years, we had the state championship games up at Dyke Stadium, and we had the 4A and 5A and 6A championships up there. Could you give our fans an idea of why they went up there initially and then why they came back down to Bloomington?
Well, we went to Northwestern, I believe it was 1981 was the first year, and we made that commitment for 4 years, and the basic thought there was that we would have more people watch the playoffs in the more populated area of the state, and obviously that's a worthwhile conclusion when you look at it on the surface. But the facts of the matter are simply that our attendance did increase basically a small amount up there, but the expenses were sky high. And when you look at the Illinois High School Association and the problems that we have financing non-revenue activities, we just have to look at the bottom line. And our attendance up there one year was about 18,000, and last year we were at 21,000 down here. So we think we've grown some. Obviously that was a 2-game session up there, but we just feel like it's far more beneficial for the association to have all the playoffs at one spot. It's nice to see the 1A kids watch the 6A kids and the 6A kids watch the 1A kids. As far as having Sports Vision here, we were very disappointed when we couldn't afford to be on TV 5 or 6 years ago, and we just are very happy that Sports Vision is back and interested in high school activities again. It's a pleasure to have all of you here. It really is. You've been fun to work with so far.
Well, I know from the high school standpoint, as far as the coaches and the players, we're very excited about it too, and we hope this is an ongoing relationship that we can continue for years to come. A question I have from a coaching standpoint, as the passing games in high school football have evolved in the last 4 to 5 years, many conferences have gone to 5 officials. And a question has been asked, and of course you're the man to ask about it, when and maybe why that the State Illinois High School Association has not gone to 5 officials yet in the state championship games.
Well, we've had that recommendation come to the advisory committee on 3 of the past 5 years, and in 2 of those years the advisory committee recommended it and our board said no. They didn't believe it was necessary at that time. The last time it came to the advisory committee said no to it. But I think its time has come, Jack. I really do. And we've had several letters this year from athletic directors. I believe there are 25 conferences in the state now that are using 5 officials regularly, and other conferences are doing it from time to time. So again, I think its time has come. That will be an issue that will come to the advisory committee again on December the 3rd, and accordingly, whatever they recommend will go on to the board for their approval.
Well, I think it's interesting for our fans to understand it, because oftentimes they think that it's up to the individual school to hire five officials or 4 officials. But from the standpoint of Bloomington Catholic right now, we're here at halftime with Calhoun. I think we've got ourselves a ball game. I think you're real excited about this hometown game for Bloomington.
Well, it started off like Central was going to just blow Calhoun out, but Calhoun kept getting a big play now and then and couldn't get on the board, and finally they did just before the end of the game. And Mike mentioned a while ago the field was wet, but it really isn't slippery. I was down on it a while ago, and it looks like it's going to be a great half.
Well, I think so too. Don Robinson, thank you very much. And now let's go back and look at our halftime stats.
There's the halftime scores. We get ready to start the 3rd quarter in just a minute or so. Mike Liederman along with Jack McInerney here on Sports Vision. Hope you're having a good Thanksgiving holiday. And Jack, again, let's take a look at the scoring plays. It started out as though
Central Catholic was going to say, we're home and we're going to throw a real party for ourselves and forget about the other guys. This is the first drive of the game for Central.
And it's a power I formation, which they have used most of the year in short yardage and goal line. And that was Adelman right up the middle for that 1-yard touchdown.
Adelman doing the bulk of a 54-yard drive at 9 plays, 4 minutes to go. Here's the second touchdown, first play of the second quarter.
Now this is the counter trap. You can see right there the guard trapping, and Toma on a quick trap right there with some good hard running. Notice the cutback, good forward lean, keeping those legs going, and he powers into that end zone. And that was a 12-yard touchdown.
12-yard touchdown, 10-play drive, as we said, end of the first, beginning of the second quarter. But right at the end of the half, Hardin Calhoun got it going after one drive was stopped by a fumble. This was a 75-yard drive in 11 plays with Jonah White going over from the 1 with 10 seconds to go, and that has really turned the complexion of this game.
Psychological factor involved there for them to get one in, to go in at halftime on a positive note. And, you know, having a 12-6 ball game now, we've got ourselves a ball game. It had been 12-0, it could have been a difference, but that was a good drive by Calhoun. It did a lot for their confidence.
Both teams are out on the field. We're getting ready to start the second half of the Class 1A Championship. We'll bring that to you right after we show you a few things.
If they want to come out and pull this one out.
Well, they are going to kick off. Chuck Rulon, the 15-year-old freshman, going to kick. Toma's in the middle. Cimarrosti. Mark Cimarrosti is the up man closest to you right there. That's Kurt Toma. And on the far side will be number 23, Josh Davis. All set to go. 12-6 with Hardin Calhoun trailing. You look at the kicker, Chuck Rulon. And we're ready for the last 2 quarters of the Class 1A Championship. Got the signal, and ball's in, I should say in the air. I was going to say in the air. Cimarrosti taking the squibber down around the 22, and he gets up across the 30 before he's stopped in there by number 84, Tim Ballman. So Central Catholic goes on the offense to start things off here in the second half. They have that 12-6 lead. Again, we'll set the backfield for you. Flynn, number 5. Brian Flynn is the quarterback. Kurt Toma is the fullback. And Bill Adelman is the tailback. And Flynn gives it to Toma, and Toma gets across the 35 up to about the 38-yard line before he's brought down by John Vick, the junior linebacker.
Toma's a workhorse. He plays it tough on both sides of the ball for Bloomington.
Both teams have 8 players or so who go both ways, and we'll see what that will tell us as the game goes on.
That's not an uncommon factor for the smaller schools, obviously.
2nd and 7 from the 37. This is Flynn. This is Adelman. And just like the first half, Adelman punching over the left tackle spot, and he gets across the 40, gain of about 5. Should be about a yard or so short of the first.
Let's take a look at it. It's just the dive part of the first phase of the option. And he just hands it off for a good gainer. That's the best play in football. Very effective, very simple. And now we're looking at a 3rd and a short yard.
Left guard John Murphy opening up a nice hole in there, helped out by Randy Penn, the center. 3rd and 1 now on the 43. Again, it's Toma. And he gets first down yardage and more up across the 45.
Again, that motion man helping out at the point of attack, basically what we call a short motion, where he just goes and then turns upfield and helps his lead blocker.
Derek Smith, Paul Bowman combining on the stop. 10.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter here at Bloomington Normal. Hancock Stadium, the home of the ISU Redbirds. But this weekend, it's what we call the Fall Football Festival, the IHSA tournament. 1st and 10 now for Bloomington Central from their own 46. Cimarrosti coming to you in motion. This again is Adelman, and Bill Adelman, the tailback, needs about 5 men and a boy to bring him down, or 5 boys and a man to bring him down. And he gets good yardage. Paul Bowman again in there along with Booth, Charlie Booth coming up in the defensive back position, and about 3 other guys. But he gets about 8 yards and crosses midfield down to the 46.
They're running a lot of power football. They're using that slot back in motion at the point of attack. They're doubling down with the center and the guard, and then they're leading up with the fullback and the motion man. It's been very effective to this point.
So Rick Johns signaling his defense right there for Hardin. Second down 2 from the 46-yard line. Flynn on the option. Here's the pitch again to Adelman.
Fumble.
Ball's loose. Got loose. And Hardin says they got it, and some of the officials agree. Number 74, John Holder, pouncing on the loose ball right there at the 50.
Let's take a look at the counter option here coming down the line, and he pitches it early because he's attacked by the outside linebacker, but you can see what a great job Calhoun is doing on the option, and he coughs the wet football up right here.
John Bick knocked it loose.
Let's take a look at it right here. He comes right across and punches through the football. The ball's on the ground, and Calhoun's going after it. Bloomington has the first attempt at it. Calhoun ends up recovering it.
1st and 10, just short of midfield.
Bootleg.
Bootleg by Booth. Booth has got a lot of trouble, a lot of coverage, and most of it is blue. And you saw Scott Bulk come down with the interception. And that was a pass, Jack, that just shouldn't have been thrown.
That was a weather pass. What I mean by that is it was a good concept, well executed. Receivers were open initially. Let's take a look at it. He just throws the ball up for grabs. And again, I think it was the wet ball. He had 2 receivers and 2 defenders right here, double teamed. And it was not a well-conceived throw.
Toma and Volk coming in there, and Scott Volk made the interception. So they turn it over again. This time, Bloomington Central's got to start from their own 21. Flynn again to give us to Adelman, and Adelman gets maybe a yard before he's stopped by Matt Capps, the big guy, 280-pounder, number 77. John McIntyre. I don't think he's calling for pizza.
I don't think so either.
They have a program. He's got a scouting report on every team as we look at a player down. Looks like Kansky, the big offensive and defensive lineman. We're talking about John Kansky. And he is, looks like he'll be okay. Meanwhile, let's take a break and we'll be back. Back we go. The ball's on the 22-yard line. 2nd down, 10 to go. And it looks like we've got a clock problem here that the officials are trying to straighten out right now. We were talking about as John Kansky came off under his own power, and he looks like he'll be back soon.
20 seconds.
The referee, Samuel Daniels, I think wants 20 seconds put back on the clock, so it should say 8:28, which it does. There's Kansky. We say big, he's 160 pounds, which is about the size of most of the central linemen.
He's a two-way player for Bloomington also.
They are quick. 2nd down, 10 to go. Semorowski, the motion man. Again, ball is loose as Toma coughs it up. Who's got it? Boy, it's slick. And it is Hardin Calhoun coming up with it. Hardin Calhoun after an attempt by just about everybody.
Let's take a look at it right here. Again, that short motion, and he gives it a fullback, and it's popped right now. It's gone. And the first person coming up on is trying to pick it up, and just kicks it through, gets past the quarterback, Flynn.
And Bart Binns, the reserve defensive back, comes in and gets it. Boy, that is the biggest turnover of the ball game because it gives Hardin the ball on the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 on the central 15. Brangenberg lines up now in the eye. And this is Booth giving it to White. White trying to turn the corner, but Mark Semorowski makes a nice play.
That was not what that play was designed to do. That was the first part of the option, and let's take a look at it here. They jumped into the I formation. The play is really designed to go off tackle. You can see the point of attack right here, and he pops it outside. And he's trying to outrun Semorowski there, and he does a nice job. It's very tough to get outside in that perimeter for a fullback.
Mark Semorowski, yeah. Jonah White is a fullback. Also plays linebacker, also punts. Give him a yard, call it 2nd and 9, just inside the 15. And this time, the pitch to Derek Smith. Smith.
He was a step away.
He was, and he got a brush block from Brandenburg on Volk, and Volk got a little piece of him, and it was just enough to trip him.
Watch the pitch right underneath the fullback here, and he's got 2 lead blockers out in front of him. And actually, if he turned it up inside right there, that could have been close to a clip right there.
Very close on the.
But had he turned it up, he had 6 points without a doubt.
As it is, he picked up 6 yards, so call it 2nd and 3. The ball on the 8-yard line. Brandenburg to the right. He goes in motion to the left.
There goes the quarterback keep.
And a good job by Central Catholic of stringing that out.
A little too long in developing, and good pursuit angles by Bloomington to turn into, to force him to not be able to turn up. Let's take a look at it here.
The linebacker coming into, again, you watch the line string it all out from side to side.
They're trying to freeze those inside linebackers with that fake to White, but good pursuit by Bloomington.
Connor and Cimarrosti in there on tackle. So 4th down and 2. Hardin's going to go for it now from the 7-yard line.
This is where the coaches earn their pay.
Squire in there now and right back.
Well,
nothing doing. Jeff Squire met by Adelman. Toma knocked back. No question about it. Central was ready, and Mr. Kansky, who is back in there now, certainly showed you he was ready.
Let's take a look. You see they got somebody right in the gap, and as he squeezes the gap to take the guard and center on, the linebacker comes up as the guard blocked down and the man in the gap. So that was a great defensive play by Bloomington.
Yeah, Jonah White was the ball carrier there. You might as well go with your best, but right there, Bloomington's a little bit better. So a big turnover, or rather a change of possession now, and Central's got the ball inside their own 10-yard line. Flynn gives it to Adelman. Adelman getting close to the 10-yard line, gain of about 2.
Now they use the same offensive formation as they go in the short yardage and goal line as they're coming out of the goal line. They go to the power I, give themselves some running room here. The only trouble with that particular formation is when you have a power I and a double tight, that really squeezes the defense in.
I'm sorry, Jay.
That's quite all right. And there's nobody out in the flank, so you got more people inside, and it makes it a little more difficult to run.
Paul Ballman, number 52, the right defensive end up there. He plays stand-up, and he made the tackle on that. Trapped in the backfield. Looked like that's Schweitzer got free, but he was nailed in the backfield and just managed to get away.
Todd Buchanan.
That was from Buchanan.
Todd Buchanan had him in the backfield. That would have been a big loss, but now they're looking at 3rd and about 4, and that little ability there by the running back gave him the opportunity to pick up a 1st down.
Tim Winicky on the tackle. 12-6, Central Catholic leading Hardin Calhoun. 4 minutes 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and here a big play for both teams. 3rd and 3 on the 14. Booth to pass.
Picked off. No, he's saying he bobbled it going out of bounds. I didn't see that he dropped. Did you see that?
Let's see what happened.
Back was to us
that was
there.
Smith, Derek Smith, and what a game he has played. Coming up to take the pass.
They're trying to dump it out in the flat here, and you can see the corner comes right up and picks it off, and he's bobbling it. Never had possession.
Never did have possession, but an excellent defensive play by Derek Smith.
Now a key here is,
let's wait for the ref. I think some Daniels is saying something.
Holding, decline.
they want him to punt.
Okay, a holding penalty against Central was declined, of course, with 4th down coming up, and now Central's going to have to punt.
And a key part here is don't let the ball hit the turf. From a coaching standpoint, you want the ball fielded, especially in this situation, so you get good field position. It hits the ground, it could go another 25 yards down the field. So it's key here, not so much for a run back, is catch the ball.
Rich Haggerty, the punter, number 88. And you're looking at it should be Derek Smith back there. No, it's Charlie Booth, the quarterback. Good kick. Fair catch called at midfield by Charlie Booth. And what a kick. About a 40-yard kick by Rich Haggerty.
With pressure coming at him from Hardin, but that was a nice job of catching the ball and give field position to Hardin Calhoun on the 50-yard line.
Well, that was about 10 yards higher than his average, or 13 yards higher than his average.
That adrenaline's going. Here's a look at some of the enthusiastic fans down here.
Hardin Calhoun goes on offense once again at midfield. Quarterback is Charlie Booth. And the handoff right up the middle for about 5 yards. Goes Jonah White. Stopped by Connor and Cimarrosti. Give him 5.
White is a real workhorse there. You can see all the decals on the helmet, which indicate big plays, which are the rewards and motivation by coaches that put on the helmets of the ball players.
Second down 5 from the 45 of Central. The Warriors of Calhoun. White again, this time going outside, and gets what looks to be first down yardage across the 40.
Let's take a look at the offensive line here for Calhoun to see what they're doing. You notice the center coming back and blocking back and a linebacker, but this was basically all done by White, sliding out there, and he did pick up that first down.
We don't have Jonah White's numbers for yardage yet, but they have been hard yards. 3:30 now to go, third quarter. It's still a 12-6 ball game. Coach Rick Johns has got to be feeling a little bit better than he thought he'd be at this point. And John McIntyre also is checking his playbook. First and 10 now. Motion to Smith. This is Booth again on the option. He'll turn it up, and Charlie Booth gets about 8 yards. I like the way he runs.
He's a hard little runner. There's no pitch man to that part of the option. It's basically we're freezing up right here. Watch the fake right here to Booth, and you can see that man is not a pitch man, but a lead blocker for him. So actually, there's 2 dimensions to that part of the option. The first part is the White, and after that, it's a quarterback keep all the way with 2 lead blockers. There's no pitch man there for Bloomington to be worried about.
Gain of 7. Make it 2nd and 3 from the 33. Booth.
He's got room.
Gives it to Branchenberg. This is Branchenberg. And Rodney Branchenberg. What a good run. Good, strong run for number 32, Rodney Branchenberg, the senior, 147-pound, 17-year-old senior, before he was stopped by Toma.
Notice the pitch right underneath the fullback here. He's got 2 lead blockers. He's out of the perimeter, and there's the 2 people right there, and he does a nice job of cutting in, but great hustle here on the part of Jim Horton, number 17, to force him to turn into the pursuit. But that's a big gainer and a first down for Hardin Calhoun.
Hardin Calhoun inside the 15-yard line. First and 10 from the 14. And they get the ball. Check the ball carrier, but it brought down by Toma was Branchenberg, number 32.
Inside counter trap there, coming back inside after the initial fake to the fullback and trying to trap.
We've got a flag down against Hardin Calhoun for looks like illegal motion. Was a preliminary signal by the referee Samuel Daniels. And Kurt Toma is checking on it because there's no gain on the play, maybe even a loss of a little.
It's been a dilemma for Hardin Calhoun. Let's listen to the official here. Illegal motion. And you'll find this oftentimes when you have that double wing with either backbone in motion. But down in this area, Hardin Calhoun has had a tough time scoring. They've been down here a couple times and been thwarted on every occasion.
Well, that was their first penalty of the game. This has been a very penalty-free contest. Only a couple of flags thrown. So first and 15 now from the 19. Branchenberg the right half. Smith the left half comes in motion towards us. This is Booth back to throw.
He's got room.
He's got room to go. He's got first down yardage. Gets down to the 2. Boy, Charlie Booth looked like he was trapped back there, and he got free and turned it into a near TD before Scott Connor upended him.
That looked like that was going to be that pop pass again. Let's take a look at it. The fake right here. He's looking for the tight end, and you can see they're actually holding him, and he scrambles with that good athletic ability, turns the perimeter. What happened was the backside corner collapsed with that initial fake to the fullback, and he was able to turn the corner and make a big play out of a play that was broken up.
All right, first and goal. Charlie Booth brings him up to the line. Smith in motion. They give it to Jonah White, and Jonah White is met by that whole left side of the line. Rob Lippick coming in. Randy Penn.
Let's take a look at it. It's nothing fancy here. Just supposed to be wedge blocking, but the problem is when you wedge block, you block down. That leaves the outside man free if he's laying down, which he was, and he was right in the face of Jonah White there for no gain.
Loss of 1 from the 3 now, second and goal. Here's the pitch to Derek Smith.
He's in.
Derek Smith with a good block as he turned the corner, gets in, and this is a tie ball game. With 45 seconds to go, Hardin Calhoun has come even with Central Catholic.
There's some real excited high school fans there on Calhoun's side of the field. Let's take a look at it here. Notice the pitch right underneath the fullback, which froze up those linebackers, and he's on the perimeter. A nice job there on that block.
Yeah, number 12, Brad Long, the tight end. Excellent block on the linebacker, and that's what got him in.
And they're going for two.
Neither team has had much luck with kicking points after, so
we might see the same play right here. No, bootleg.
Bootleg again. This is Booth. Good coverage by Central. And Booth is brought down by Scott Connor. We've been calling his name a lot.
Fine athlete. We talked earlier about the amount of penalties. I think it's a credit to both coaching staffs, the job that they have done here, and the excellence of play that's being conducted on the field by both these squads. Let's take a look at it here. You see the trap fake, the bootleg, the ball's on the hip. He's got a tight end open right now, but he just cannot get the ball to him. He tries to attack the perimeter, but a good job there by number 33,
Scott Connor
Derek Smith.
And Derek Smith, Scott Connor coming in from that linebacker spot to knock him out. 7 plays, a 50-yard drive, ran about 3.5 minutes. With Derek Smith, a 3-yard run. And Hardin Calhoun has got itself a 6-point lead with 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. Derek Smith doing an excellent job. Excellent job. Can't say too much about that block by the line, especially Brad Long. Okay, here is Chris Roulant to kick it off. That'll be Toma in the middle. But the short man will take it. This is Scott Connor. Connor brought down laterally on the 35.
You know, are my eyes deceiving me, or is he... I thought the last time that he kicked off right-footed. I'm not kidding.
Maybe we could say, no, he kicked off left foot.
He came from the opposite side. I could have swore. I mean, I've been to Pearl Vision several times recently.
I don't know. I think he's a left-footed kicker.
Maybe it's my screen here.
Maybe we'll see him again. Maybe we'll see him again. First down on the 35-yard line. Their own 35 for Central Catholic. Flynn gives the ball off to Toma, and Toma stopped.
This coffee must be stronger than I think it is. Same things.
Boy, that Hardin Calhoun defense just rose to the occasion. Buchanan, number 73, Holder, 74. Ballman, the whole front four came in. Eberlin, 64. Well, that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Hardin Calhoun, 12. Central Catholic, 12. Well, they played a whole season to come down to one quarter. It is 12-12. Bloomington Central and Hardin Calhoun. Bloomington Central with the ball. They've got a 2nd and 10 on their own 35-yard line. This is Flynn.
He's got somebody wide open.
Wide open was Haggerty, and Haggerty overthrown by Flynn. But Rich Haggerty was out there down around the 35-yard line, and the big guy, 6'7", 190 pounds, just overthrew him.
Bootleg action. It was a good fake, and he had him wide open. Again, thrown into a strong wind, a crosswind that had him throwing into it across the field, but he was wide open.
All right, 3rd and 10 now. Bloomington Central with the ball. And the give. Close to the first down, maybe to the first down. Is Scott Connor, who's coming in. Stopped by Chris Eberlin. Scott Connor. Charlie Booth also helping out on the stop, and they'll move the chains. That was a 10-yard gain. Big play on 3rd down.
That was off of the counter trap with the slot man coming back inside after the initial fake.
Well, don't adjust your sets, folks. It's a lot of rain that's starting here, so bear with us because the rain is really starting to come down. 1st and 10. The give is to Adelman now, and Bill Adelman gets a couple of yards. Hart may have thought the football came loose, but the referee said he was down. The official said he was down.
I think it's kind of an interesting effect. Let's take a look at the short motion with the slot back leading up at the point of attack. And they double down with the fullback on the inside, and here they come with help from the slot back.
John Vick, number 63, coming in to make the stop. Matt Capps, the big guy, number 77, has 6 solo tackles today. He's having the game of his career. Call it gain of 2, or gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Flynn lets it go.
He picked off. No.
And the closest person to that was Derek Smith of Hardin Calhoun.
It's a good job of coverage there by the safety. He read the quarterback all the way and slid over here. Let's take a look at it here. Notice the quarterback's looking that whole way, and while he did that, the safeties, you can see him sliding right on the screen there. That turned out to be a double coverage there. Nice job there by Hardin Calhoun.
Once again, Bloomington Central finds itself 3rd and long. It's 48-yard line. 3rd and 9, we'll call it. There's a good shot. Brian Flynn.
Bootleg pass again.
Eberlin's got a shot at him.
Got a man open.
Scott Horton, and there's a flag, too, against, looks like, probably Jeff Squires.
He'll tack another 15 out of that game.
Couldn't see the signal. He's maybe hit him with the helmet on helmet.
Bootleg wants to go to the tight end, but he's covered here by Calhoun. He scrambles back across the other side of the field. And as you can see, he's looking downfield, throws the ball on the run. A great reception here. Slide in. Here's the hit right there. The spear, which is another 15 yards out of that gain.
22-yard gain on the pass play. Add another 15 for the spearing. And it's a 37-yard pickup, which was Bloomington Central.
That's a great call by the official. High school football, we did not allow any kind of contact with the leading of the head like that, and that was a good job by the officials of calling that infraction.
Well, this is only the 2nd time that Central has been in Hardin's territory all the 2nd half. Now they're on the 13 with 10 minutes, 44 seconds to go, 4th quarter. And we're in a tie ball game.
Split backs, we might see the option here. We are.
As Flynn gives it to Toma. Toma breaks free. Good second effort. Toma gets down to about the 6-yard line. Brought down by Tim Winicky, the middle linebacker.
Most cases they get down in the short yards, they're going to the split backs because it's a quicker hitting formation than the eye.
Take a look at the situation on total yardage in the 3rd quarter. Calhoun really having the edge here, but right now Central with a 2nd and 4 on the 7 in very good position. This is Josh Davis, and Josh Davis is greeted by, once again, Matt Capps.
Josh Davis is the quicker of the 2 tailbacks, but again, out of the I formation, it takes longer to get there. Consequently, Calhoun has a chance to do a good job on the defensive line. Let's take a look at it here. Slow developing play out of the I formation, and there's number big 77 sitting there waiting for him.
He's got man blocking him who's about 100 pounds less than he, and in a straight ahead situation like that, Capps certainly has the advantage. 3rd down, 4 to go there in the I. Flynn
bootleg pass.
Bootleg. And this time, he is caught by Jonah White. And what a clutch play for Hardin Calhoun.
Calhoun's been running the college 4-3 defense. Basically, the difference between a regular 4-3 and a college 4-3 is the outside linebackers are off. They're over the tackles, and they're off the ball with an inside linebacker or a middle linebacker. And there is a difference between a college 4-3 and a regular 4-3. Calhoun's done a nice job defensively here, and it looks like Bloomington's the one that's starting to stall now. In the earlier part of the 1st half, they had all the confidence.
Well, with 4th and 10 now from the 14, or call it the 13, Bloomington's going to go for it. And this is Flynn again to pass.
Got a man open.
A man in the end zone. Does he hold it? Touchdown, Scott Connor, Bloomington.
That was a crossing route by both outside receivers, and he came across the formation and got in behind the defensive back, the cornerback, who kind of squeezed down a little bit, and he got the angle on it and was open in the corner of the end zone.
The issue wasn't whether or not he was going to get free. He was free as a bird. The issue was whether Scott Connor would hold on to the ball.
Right, we saw him crossing right there underneath, and he puts the ball on his shoulder, and you can see a great job of concentration by a high school receiver. Excellent.
And also he can get a job juggling in the circus.
Absolutely.
They could use him at Barnum and Bailey. Clutch play by Central Catholic to take an 18-12 lead. And here is Kevin Arnold.
Power I formation.
Check it, they're going to go for 2. Schweitzer's the tailback here.
Pass again.
Again, this is Flynn, and Flynn Gets it across. Jonah White tried to make the stop, but just came up short as Flynn jammed the ball into the end zone just before his knee hit the ground.
That little extra effort there at the last second with the Walter Payton. Let's take a look at it here. This is going to be a pass, and he's flushed. His receivers in cover. He scrambles up to the middle of the field. Now watch the extension right here over the goal line, breaking that plane 6 points. Let's take a look at it here from a cornerback. He's flushed. Turns up inside. He's hit initially on the 3-yard line.
I don't know. Take a look at where his knee's down.
Well, that's a good point. At first, when he first put it down, I did not think they were going to give it to him, but both officials had their hands up for that touchdown, and that's Walter Payton's.
On that for the points after. I tell you, that replay, good job on the replay. That really showed his knee was down, and I don't know if he had finished spiking that ball on the ground yet. 10 plays, 65 yards, 4 minutes, 4 seconds on the clock, 8:36 to go, and Central has the lead again, 20-12. Here is Volk's kick, and we get a whistle before the kick, and let's see what's going on. Scott Volk kicked it off. The rain has picked up again, as you can tell from what's happening to our lenses. Things are getting a little messier out there.
Get ball, encroachment, kicking team.
Okay, it'll be somebody, I guess, was over the line, over the 40 before the ball was kicked, so they'll kick it again, this time for the 35.
I've been very impressed by the caliber of play here of both teams on the conditions. It's rainy, it's cold, it's windy, and yet both teams have done an excellent job of playing high school football. There haven't been that many turnovers. There's only been, I believe, 1 or 2 penalties, and it's been a very well played and exciting football game.
8.5 minutes to go now. Central with a 20-12 lead. Volk will kick to Derek Smith and Charlie Booth, but again it's squibbed. And here's Booth at his own 20. Broke 2 tackles, couldn't break the third, but he brings it across the 35. Before, I believe it was Kansky brought him down. Let's take a look at the run back again. Boy, that ball is hard to handle, but Booth did a good job.
He really did. Nice job right there of a nice cut on the move, and a nice job there of downfield tackling. Good coverage by Bloomington's special team on the kickoff.
Greg Massey on the tackle right there. 1st and 10 on the 36. Hardin Calhoun now with 8 minutes, 14 seconds to go. Sends Smith in motion. Booth has still got it on the option. Good run by Booth. And Charlie Booth gets himself 10 yards plus before he is brought down by Mark Cimarasti. But again, good ball handling, good faking, and an excellent play by a very deceptive quarterback who we've grown to admire a little today.
Absolutely. Look at the fake here. He's riding in, White inside, and he turns right up inside the seam. Notice the linebacker went with the pitch man. He turns up inside. He's moving upfield. Let's look at the contact right here. Excellent hit right there. Good tackle. Good open field tackle.
12-yard gain, takes the ball now out to the 49-yard line of Hardin Calhoun, again on the option.
Same play.
And Booth goes, this time he goes left, and he picks up another 11 yards out of bounds around the 40-yard line. You talk about a good, this is almost like a wishbone situation where you've got your quarterback going parallel to the line of scrimmage, and he's got to make that pitch or keep it. Really, he's got to make that judge at the point of contact.
Well, the key right here is the fake, and he does a nice job of getting right up inside that seam and taking an angle. You really don't turn your shoulder straight upfield. You keep running on an angle, and because there's a running lane in the option game, and he has found it in these last 2 plays.
Horton knocks him out. Mark Cimarasti now also helping. He's got 6 tackles on the day. 1st and 10. This time they give us to Jonah White, and Jonah White straight ahead gets a couple.
This kid is really a workhorse. He does it all, and he's been the key, really, the option game. Booth's been doing a nice job of running, but it's the fake to White and freezing up those linebackers, staying home because of that. The talent of White inside really freezes those linebackers and opens up the outside part of the option.
2nd down, 7 yards to go after the gain of 3 on the 36-yard line. Coming to the 7-minute mark to the final quarter. Smith in motion, takes the pitch. Starts to hurdle, but he is met by Bloomington Central after a gain. Scott Volk coming up from the defensive back position to put the hit on the hurdling Derek Smith.
Let's take a look at it. Here's the fake. And right now, there's the pitch right there, and there's Smith flying, 5'11", 170-pound senior. and he's vaulting us. Right now, we're getting exciting. I mean, we're state championship. You can see the effort that he's putting forth right here. We're down to an exciting ball game the last few minutes.
3rd and 1 now from the 30. 6.5 minutes to go. Booth again on the bootleg, looking to throw. He eludes Kansky. And Booth down for first down yardage, and he gets down close to the 20-yard line. Charlie Booth, good stats. Picking up about 9 yards there. He's got 70 yards on the day, as well as 57 yards on 3 of 5 passing.
He's been the key in the second half, without a doubt. He's really added a spunk. There's the stats we're looking at on the quarterback, Charlie Booth, and it's all been off the option.
Well, you made an important point. The fact that, you know, Jonah White gives them such a one-dimensional attack. Charlie Booth's been able to add some depth to that attack, and now Bloomington Central's got to worry what they're going to do next. 1st and 10 now, as you see the clock. 6.5 to go. Here's the pitch. This time, it is Brandenburg, and Brandenburg gets inside the 20, down to about the 17.
That was a great job by the defensive back. That play could have been 6. He fought off the blocker, stayed home, fought with him, didn't take a side one way or another until the runner determined which way he was going. He made the big play, and that was Mark Cimarosti.
Yeah.
Cimarosti did a fine job there, open field. That really saved the touchdown.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6, under 6 minutes to go now, 4th quarter. Mike Liederman with you. This is Class 1A State Championships. Jack McInerney along with me is Jonah White. Gets snowed under. Kansky, Volk, all of them. Jonah White gets about 2 yards, giving him 78 on the day, including that 50-yard jaunt in the first half. You know, Jack, that 2-point conversion looks pretty big right now for Central Catholic. 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 on the 15-yard line.
2 down territory to pick up 4.
Booth holding again on the option, but this time he is trapped back of the line of scrimmage. Excellent defensive play by Central Catholic.
And here could be the ball game right here. We've got a 4th down and 4. You know he's got to go for it. What's he going to call? The most effective play they've been running so far is the quarterback getting out on the perimeter, attacking, which they just did there, but it didn't work. But before that, it did. Now, there's a man that's got, right now, he's just hoping he made the right call. Of course, he might have made the right call. They've got to execute.
What do you think about the slant and pop pass again? 4th at 5. Here we go. Well, this time it's a straight pitch.
No.
Brandenburg isn't going anywhere. Central Catholic. Adelman makes the big play, along with Murphy, number 51, Scott Connor, number 33. What a play by Central Catholic, and they hold. We'll be back. The score remains Bloomington 20-12 over Calhoun. Well, after holding defensively, Central Catholic now has the ball on its own 17-yard line. Time starting to become a factor, 4:24. You look at Brian Flynn, the quarterback. He gets the signal sent in wigwag by John McIntyre over on the sidelines, the coach of Central Catholic, as he has been for the past dozen years. 2 veteran coaches here, Rick Johns, as you look at the Central Catholic sideline. And here's John on the white phone. Rick Johns, coach of Hardin, has been there 7 years. Hardin hadn't had a winning season in 13 years before Rick Johns came there. 2 years ago, he got him into the semifinals. Last year, they started out slowly, still finished 7-2. And now could be state champions, but Central Catholic is a very big force in the way. Clock is running now. 1st and 10 from the 17. Flynn gives the ball off. And coming out across the 20 is Adelman. Adelman has, well, I guess you can't say earned his pay today, but he's certainly
done a nice job.
A lot of work.
A lot of hard running, good second effort. He's been obviously the key offensively for Bloomington Catholic here. In many cases with the second effort that he's made after being hit initially, he's been getting 3 and 4 yards after the initial hit.
Give him 3 on the last one. 2nd and 7 from the 20. Cimarosti again in motion. Adelman again. This time he gets maybe a yard.
Seen Calhoun will start using a timeout here to stop that clock. And of course, Bloomington's going to be running the ball, trying to keep that clock going with 3:30 left in the ball game.
Todd Buchanan on the tackle for Calhoun, number 73.
High school football, we don't have the luxury of that 2-minute warning with additional timeout. So right after this play, you'll see Calhoun call a timeout.
Well, here it is, 3rd and 6. This is extremely critical for Calhoun right here to hold, and for Bloomington try to get that first down yardage. It's hardly a 2-down situation here.
There's the dive.
Good, and they get it.
He's got it.
They get it. Kurt Toma. He had 100 yards in the first half. He's been kind of quiet in the second, but he gets key yardage here.
Notice the point of attack, number 73, being driven about 6 yards off the ball, actually right to where he was tackled and picked up that first down. In defense of him, it was a double team where they blasted down. It's just a power running play, and they really blew him off the ball. Great job by the offensive line.
John Vick making the stop for Hardin, but his first down yardage up to the 30. More important, it's 4 more downs for Central. This is Adelman, and Adelman just going, slashing across the middle, gets a yard, maybe 2, and the clock goes down to 2.5. 2:35 to go, and Bloomington Central now looking in command, and we get our first timeout called by Hardin Calhoun.
I believe that's an injury.
We've got an injury right here. Looks
John
like
Murphy.
Yeah, Murphy, number 51. The left guard, and
I think that's an ankle.
Yeah, that's a shame. John Murphy, 18-year-old senior, 170-pounder, two-way player.
There's what we're looking at. In 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we'll have a state champion.
Clock keeps moving now. 2:25. 2nd and 8 situation here for Central. Give again to Adelman, and Adelman almost stopped in the backfield, breaks a bunch of tackles, and he gets first down yardage before Jonah White brings him down as the clock ticks down past the 2 minutes. Adelman was trapped in the backfield there and scooted away.
See right here, the linebacker stunning, overruns the play. Great effort here. He looks like he's down, and he pops outside, and just that hard, straight up the field running, and he comes up short about a half a yard of a first down here. But the key element is the clock is running. Calhoun now calls a timeout.
2:01 on the clock. This has been a very good ball game.
It really has been. From the initial series, when Bloomington drove down the field and scored, we at first thought we might have a blowout because then the Bloomington in their second series scored. But the big play was when Calhoun was able to come back prior to the first half, score, and we were looking at a 12-6 halftime, and that was a big score for Calhoun at halftime. And of course, then they came back again, and it's been a great ball game. It's been a very well-played game, very few penalties, very few turnovers.
The 20 points is the most that's been scored on Calhoun all season. You can take a look at the time now, 2 minutes to go, and Central has got to hold on to the ball. 2 more timeouts for Hardin. And the Central running backs have done a job. Kurt Tome, especially in the first half, 123 yards now on 12 carries. That's better than 10 yards a crack. And Bill Adelman, who got the tough yards, 20 carries, 69 yards. Doesn't look like a great average, but boy, he did a fine day's work.
They're all tough yards.
Looking at John McIntyre, and he's breathing a little bit more easily now, but still a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to go. This game is hardly a lock for Central.
Well, the key area here is he's looking at a 1/3 and a half a yard, and that clock will continue to run until Hardin uses up their timeout. So Bloomington's in great shape as long as they can hang on to the football.
Hardin Calhoun, Bloomington Central, Class 1A.
You know, and another point here is that it's just too bad that somebody has to lose a ball game like this, because we'll dwell on the last game here. Somebody came in second place, but they're really two great football teams.
Especially interesting with Bloomington Central, they play teams 1A through 4A on their schedule. And you would figure when they drop down in the playoffs and play the 1A teams, it'd be a walk in the park. But boy, it's been anything but.
Well, when you get to this level, they're all good football teams.
All right, here it is, 3rd and a little less than a yard to go for the first down for Bloomington Central. They're on their own 40. And everybody's going to be coming for Hardin Calhoun. Here's Adelman. And Bill Adelman gets plenty, gets 5. As a matter of fact, it was just 1 ankle tackle short of having clear sailing all the way down.
Now here's a situation where a lot of coaches actually have an assistant coach with a stopwatch, keep you in the huddle, go up to the ball, use all of those 25 seconds that you can, and they'll point when they want them to get the snap off with about 5 seconds left. I mean, that's how you milk the clock. You've got to do it.
Well, there's no 30-second clock on the field, a 25-second clock in the field as there is in the pros or college, but they watch it with the stopwatch. Clock is running now, a minute 40 to go. And again, straight ahead.
Calhoun calls another timeout here.
Toma stopped by Todd Buchanan, and Calhoun takes its second timeout.
Now we're going to see the old theory of tackling the football. Yeah, getting the helmet. The rule is the first man set him up, and everybody else starts going for the football.
Well, while we're checking out the timeout situation, we remind you Sports Vision tips off its outstanding college basketball season Tuesday night with exciting doubleheader action. 7:30. Catch the Huskies of NIU, Northern Illinois, against the Badgers of Wisconsin. Then at 9:30, the DePaul Blue Demons play host to Niagara. Tune in Tuesday night for this exciting college basketball doubleheader beginning at 7:30.
Trivia question: who was the leading scorer in the nation from Niagara?
Basketball? Oh, sure. Calvin Murphy.
You got it. Very good. I'm impressed.
Well, you know, he's about my age.
There's a first down for that we're looking at. Central Catholic with 17 and Calhoun 12. Relatively close. And, you know, the ball game has been closer than it seemed in the first half.
Wait a minute. Let's go back to Calvin Murphy for a little bit. How do you, what, are you a personal friend of Calvin's, or you just remember him?
Did you know also that he could outrun everybody on his team dribbling the ball, and they didn't have to dribble, and he beat them all in races?
And not to play Can You Top This, he was the best baton twirler also. He was right. Okay. Anything you want to know. Here's the action right here. Flynn gets away. Flag goes down. And Flynn is stacked up by Jonah White.
We might have got a... Oh, we got an illegal block. 5 yards.
Let's check. That was a preliminary indication. Sherman Daniels, the referee. Samuel Daniels, the referee, will let us know for sure.
Bloomington does not want to punt the ball. With 1 minute 27 seconds here.
Look at use of the hands. Decline.
That was a good call, I think. They didn't, you know, it's a 3rd and 7 right now. You don't eat up any more clock. We'll take a look at it here.
Right here, it's a counter bootleg, and you can see right here the cameraman's kind of faked out for the first time today. And the play actually occurred further in the backfield, not at where the tackle was. So we're now looking at about a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 4 on the Hardin 48. Minute 10 to go, clock is running. This is Adelman, and Adelman is up short of the first down, and now... Let's see, what do you do, Coach? You take your last time out here? Last time out, I'm using right here, force him to punt. I don't let the ball hit the ground. Whatever happens, catch that ball. Obviously, if it's in a situation here where it's going to go into the end zone, that's fine. But see, the problem here is...
Well, let me stop you, Jack.
Pinned.
Let me stop you 1 second. High school, they only kick maybe 10, 11 yards back of the line of scrimmage. Do you try for a block?
Well, there's 2 things that happen. You know, you can try for the block, but even if you don't get that, in many cases, that's gonna force the punter to rush, and he might shank it, and he might get a poor kick, or he might bobble it, because oftentimes you take your eye off the ball for a split second. You got a lot of people rushing, so it's a good idea. You put pressure on them. And there's different types of punts. There's a block punt that people run. There's a pressure punt, just to come up hard and put the pressure on them, but you don't want to really go hard because you don't want to get that roughing the kicker. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go with it, and it depends on what areas they've worked on.
20-12. Central Catholic with the ball in a punting situation, leading Hardin Calhoun as we wind down the final 103 of this ball game. Now remember, it's a 2-point conversion to go with the touchdown.
And remember, Bloomington does have a punt fake, so let's watch the up back here. The short man, if it's a snap to the short man.
On 4th and 3.
It is. There's the fake. And there's the first down.
Good call, Jack McInerney.
Now I get my bonus, right?
Kurt Toma. They used that earlier in the season. And Toma taking the short snap.
Take a look at a short snap right here. Notice all the pressure up the middle, and they're just kicking out. It's a trap. coming right up. They needed 4 yards. If they don't get it, they still have a good, strong defense. Calhoun does not throw the ball well, so it was a good, calculated risk right there to call that.
Well,
and as it worked, it was a great call.
Right now, all they've got to do is snap the ball twice, and this ball game is over.
They're not in punt formation, folks. That's a deep man in case there's any kind of a mix-up. He's the safety valve. Calhoun has used up all their timeouts.
Right. I think they'll have to get off one more snap.
One more snap, but they'll take the 5-yard penalty to use up that 25 seconds.
Well, they haven't even marked the ball ready for play yet, so clock keeps ticking. 24, 23.
No, they won't have to.
And I don't think they're going to have to get off anything further. That should do it right there. An excellent 1A championship high school football game ends with Central Catholic defeating Hardin Calhoun 20-12. 5 seconds to go. And the Saints of Central Catholic are the champs in 1A.
And congratulations to Hardin Calhoun on a fantastic season.
There they are, the Hardin Calhoun kids, the Warriors.
Joys of sorrow, or tears of sorrow, and tears of joy.
This is the kind of game that you really like to see. Of course, the old adage, nobody wants to lose, but it was a clean game, a good game, and a well-played.
What did I tell you last night? I would love to see all of these games, all 6A championship, a one-point game. No blowouts. I mean, when you get to this point, you want them to play well, both teams to play extremely well, have a close ball game, and so everybody can go home with their heads held up high.
Yeah, and Hardin Calhoun take a long bus ride, but they should be very proud of what they did. Rick Johns in his 7th year never had gone this far with it. This team has never been this far in its history.
There's about 500 other schools that haven't got down here.
That's right. And Bloomington Central, boy, there they are in their home field. They have a lot of effort in their program, a lot of people, a lot of support, and I mean it's a religion down here. And Hardin Calhoun played them even. They really played them even. We'll be back in a minute. There's your final. Central 20, Calhoun 12. Well, Central Catholic has been here before. They were 2A champs in 1982, runners-up in 83. But here they are, the 1A champions. And boy, did they play a fabulous ball game. John McIntyre, the coach there, with Rick Johns, his opposite number, congratulating each other. What a good ball game. Good ball game, Jack.
It really was. I'm pleased for both teams that both teams played so well in the championship game.
Well, really, it came down to one touchdown. And it came down to a young man who had the concentration to hold on to a ball that looked as though it was going 8 ways from Sunday.
Great concentration by a high school player in a real key situation, a state championship.
Right. Well, there's John McIntyre getting the trophy, and let's take a look at the winning touchdown one more time. It came with 8:36 left in the 4th quarter.
Watch the bootleg fake
wide
here,
open.
and he has to scramble back a little bit, and here's the back coming back across the field. Look at that concentration. Ball on the shoulder, bobbling all the way down, and there's the state championship right there.
Scott Connor, who played so well on defense, as well as scoring the winning touchdown on offense. There are a bunch of happy kids right there from Bloomington Central getting their first place medals and first place trophy. We'll be back, and we'll try to get a word with the winning coach, John McIntyre, in just a minute. Once again, the final score, Central Catholic, the Saints of Bloomington Central Catholic 20. Hardin Calhoun, the Warriors, came up second with 12. Mike Liederman along with Jack McInerney here at wonderful, warm Hancock Stadium. We've got John McIntyre down there on the field, and I know he wants to get back with his team. John, congratulations to you, Coach.
Well, thanks, Mike. It was a great ball game, real tough for us. We were outsized quite a bit. We had a little bit of trouble stopping their outside run, but we finally got it shut down enough on that last drive and pull it out.
Yeah, I understand that. You started out like you were going to blow these fellas out. What happened?
I think maybe we got a little conservative. We started playing a little bit not to lose instead of trying to win the ball game and opening up a little bit. And we finally reorganized our thinking a little bit and got back up the field there on that drive to get that winning touchdown. The other thing we had problems with, like a lot of teams did against the Hardin Calhoun team, they're a big physical team and they keep their hands on the football very well. We had a little bit of trouble stopping their drives, and it made quite a difference in our field position. Yeah, John, we made a lot about, as you discussed, a lot about the fact that you were outweighed so much by the Hardin Calhoun people.
Did you fear that was going to become a factor later in the game? It looked as though the momentum had shifted, certainly in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think so. Also, we had 2 key fumbles that gave us bad field position and made our defense really hang on. You know, you can't play out here on a wet turf with a wind like this and play with your backs against the wall too long with the team that's bigger than you are. So I thought, you know, we were able to get the drive when we needed and start to open up a little bit. Probably should have a little earlier in the game.
All right, John, our congratulations to you. We know you're going to celebrate tonight. You don't have to go far to get home.
Thank you very much. It's been a great year for us.
All right, congratulations, John McNamara. John McIntyre is sitting there, and he's going to go home, and it's not going to be too far. Maybe it's about 20 seconds or so from where we are. Well, Jack, I tell you, it's just the start of things. We got 5 more games to go.
If the other 5 games are as well played as this ball game, the fans here and the fans at home are in for a great afternoon of football.
Well, we've got the 2A game coming up for you with Bill Hazen and Bill Gorley in just about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to send you back to our Sports Vision studios. You can watch some volleyball and warm up a little bit. But stay tuned. We've got lots more football coming up for you right here on Sports Vision.